Welcome, friends. And today we have Shreyasta Sammal joining us. She's quite an expert in the AI uh, area, and we've been discussing a lot of things together. And we decided that today it would be the right day to discuss what we've been, trying to tell you all through our sessions about how people are being herded, into sort of sheep to follow certain people's dictates and why it happens. Okay, so if you ask, first of all, let me welcome Shreyasta. Welcome, Shreyasta.
Welcome, ma'am. Namaste, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me on your show, and it's a
Yeah,
great
thank you.
pleasure to be
Thank you
here.
for joining us.
Yeah, very excited to be here.
Yeah. So, see, we've been discussing a lot of things which, I've been accused of as saying that, see, this is all a conspiracy theory. And we've all seen that, all seeing eye, which follows the world's population around, controlling it, not allowing people to live their lives at peace. This beady eye, this all seeing, all knowing, all powerful. And it's allegedly the symbol of the influential secret society known as the Illuminati. People have heard of the concept of the Illuminati, but they can't be sure whether it's there or not. They think it's like myth or sort of legend or superstitious, or whether this organization really has infiltrated every aspect of our society and controls the population of the world. Now, many things that are happening in the present scenario have pointed out that this does exist, and there are certain very powerful rich people who are trying to control society and sort of shape them into what they want from society, which means see anything like your individuality, your confidence, your what do you call authority in a subject. These things are not required. They want people of the same mold, who listen to the same music, the same dance to the same music, dress in the same manner, and a lot of these things, follow what they say, and then even tell you what to shop, or where to go for a travel, destination. As in a travel destination, what are the clothes you should pick up, the shoes that you should pick up, you know. And this is something many of us have been telling you through our channels. And the best example of this is Bollywood, where you see even the makeup, everything is similar. You cannot make out the difference between a Katrina Kaif, or a Sara Ali, or even Kajal Devgan's daughter or Janvi Kaur. So they all look the same, and they all look the same shape, because the plastic surgeons sometimes forget, that they are creating it for individuals, and they do the same mold for them as well. So it was very interesting talking to Shreyasa, because see, her what you call a specialization is in this topic, and what we've been talking about is something that she very clearly knows is happening, and it's a very, very frightening scenario that is there in front of us. So first, let me ask Shreyasa to just introduce herself, and then we'll go on to this.
Okay, thank you, Meena, ma'am. Hello, everybody. So nice to interact with everyone. I am by profession an electrical and computer science engineer. So, mainly my domain has been image and video processing expertise, machine learning, computer vision. So, right now, these are very niche and in demand topics, not only right now, but for the past 2 to 3 decades, I believe. So, and nowadays people are maybe playing with the algorithms or filters and all these on Insta, and all, that is just a very basic application. Any small kid can do it. But if you really get a chance to work in big companies, I've had the opportunity to work in Bosch, actually the R&D center, and also like with Max Planck Institute. So I've worked with proper scientists and gone under that journey later to discover that no, I have to go my own way, because yes, the thing is that things are tailor made and specifically made for a certain goal. They call it goal, but actually it is agenda, because who is funding these labs, right? No matter how pure your intention is, we all are unfortunately controlled by the people who have money, power, and control. And they are the big five families, Rothschild, and like you mentioned, running all these big organizations, Bill Gates, or whatever, foundation, and this and that. Aren't
Soros.
there other foundations? There are, right? Yeah, only Microsoft can create AI. No, you yourself at home can sit and create AI. Why I felt coming out and explaining to people in simple words, because we are the creators of our own destiny. We can self-correct, and we need not be penalized for something that we don't know. Okay, so all these things are linked, and I will show you how, step by step, and how we should unite and fight against this, because we need to disrupt this. We need to be united as Sanatanis, because that is the ultimate, that is the truth. We all stand and live by the truth. And yes, everyone is profiting, trust me. So it's one thing that, of course, AI is evil, but AI can also be used like this, the way Meena ma'am is using it, to democratize information, to give it to you all. And I'm really happy, ma'am, to be in touch with you. And you also give me a lot of inspiration to come out and speak, because I did not have the courage, to be honest, a couple of years ago. But watching you, listening to you, I was like, thank God there is someone out there who thinks like me, who is there, who echoes with me somewhere. Someone on the planet does echo with me. So yeah.
In fact, Shreyasta, people like you and all those who are following us in our channel, most of you are very, very highly intelligent, highly educated, and the very reason you're with us is because of this, because you know there's something terribly wrong and that we need to rectify it. So together we will do it, and that's why I invited you today, because I wanted to know, because there's a lot of stuff that the people don't know about, and by explaining it, things become a little easier.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, I'll first start with what an algorithm is and how a innocent algorithm can also be exploited. You know, so let's just start with simple YouTube or anything from Google or anything. So, you first create an account. You definitely put your data, something you will put. Yeah, this is my name. It can be fake name, real name, anything. But over a period of time, this algorithm or this channel or anything is giving you certain options. Maybe to create, maybe to upload, maybe to add some keywords, hashtags, and everything. So, how this works from the techie side is that, okay, I made an algorithm. Now we don't have so many people upload or are using it, and worldwide people are using it. It's very difficult to monitor, assess grievances, these that. So because of that, and it is high volume, this is a big data application. Okay, it's not AI, it's actually big data. Big data means there are five things in it: high volume, variety, uh, speed, and many other things. I don't remember it at the algorithmic tuning and all that things, all the techie things come in, so it's not important. What we need to remember is that it's very hard to then segregate. But eventually, all of us, we are of course evolving, but we also have a certain personality type or a certain character type, and a certain thing that we know we will go for it. Maybe, okay, I like a particular song, Shakira song, Waka Waka, or Hips Don't Lie. So I will listen to it even after 10 years, or because I am emotionally, I love this song, like this song, and whatever the reason is. So, and these, when we type it in a search engine anywhere, any search engine, there are something called as cookies. Now they sound sweet, cookies, but if you eat too much cookies, you will get some sugar issues. And in internet case, they are tracking you all the time, every time. That's why, ma'am, I don't know if a couple of years ago, when this Alexa or all these voice over things were just coming in, there was no control over this. Okay, because AI system is open loop system. And what is open loop or what is closed loop? Closed loop means very simple. I have a mixie grinder at home. Okay, I add some dosa or I add some coconuts. I put the mixie, I switch it on. My work is done in a couple of minutes. I switch it off. Finished. As long as I don't operate it again, or the electricity is not given, or it is not controlled by some mechanism, it remains as it is. It doesn't have a life on its
mm,
own.
mm,
But AI is a open loop system. Now,
mm,
what is open loop? Open loop means there is no switch off button.
it's
It's
always on.
continuously listening. So, for example, if you have any such devices at home, Google, hey Siri, hey Google, hey
Mm,
Alexa, hey
mm.
blah blah blah, hey whatever you give the
They're
name,
listening
whatever
all the time.
language,
Mm,
it is a passive listening
mm,
device. Now, what is a passive listening device? ये सो के आपको सुन रहा है, and it wakes up when it finds the right keyword and the right frequency.
mm,
Concept of what? Sleeper cells.
mm,
Real life example?
mm,
See?
mm,
Sleeper cells. They wake up when they need to be. So,
mm,
full life, what we are using as it is the same script, ma'am, everywhere. Any profession is the same thing. So, another thing, previously it was English language.
mm,
So, then came people speak with different tones, accents. So, voice engineering, audio apps, so many things came in. That's why, how did they get the voice data? From
mm,
singers, from concerts, from recordings like this. So, a part of the things that we are uploading, they use it for their own benefits, right?
mm,
Otherwise, why will a organization give you
mm,
something for free?
mm,
They got their data and you willingly gave it because you said you clicked accept all,
mm,
finished.
mm.
So you cannot read back. But ma'am, let's just come
You
back
mean
to
to
real.
say when they say, we use cookies and you say accept all, you can't get out of it?
Yeah, but nowadays you can, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of
See,
fighting from
let
the
me just give you an
technician.
example. For
Yeah.
example, I want to read some article in the Telegraph, okay,
Mm.
and they say that they're using cookies. You've got to accept it. So you accept it, and then you go ahead, you read the article and all that. Does that mean that they're snooping into what you're doing after that,
No.
and you can't get
So
out of it?
no, 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 no. That is a closed loop system.
Okay,
Because they
okay,
cannot
okay.
violate.
Mm,
They cannot violate
mm,
some rules, because then there are even lawyers who are after them.
okay, okay,
But what they will get is when you clicked what you clicked, maybe not the
mm,
content
mm,
because they are bound by it, but
mm,
if enough pressure and anything is there, they can get the content. They'll get the timestamps, what time you saw this, that, because maybe you're just a civilian, or you're not a threat to them that they need to monitor you. That's it. But if you are, then anything and everything can be monitored, and you need to protect yourself. You can also protect yourself. That's why. Yeah.
So when you move on to what's happening in Bollywood, now what we've
Mhm.
noticed is that, see, especially the young girls who come into Bollywood, they all look the same. It's just like an army of clones. And they behave in the same pattern. Sometimes I also feel that the voice is the same. And they speak, they laugh, they giggle. Even the IQ is the same, very low. I mean, very low IQ. And then you see that they select boys who are very weak, you know and so somewhere you feel that they are like sheep, you know and who is controlling them? Could you tell us a little bit more about this area?
This year, no, Bollywood is definitely controlled by like dark shark lords, I would say,
Mm,
dark
mm,
lords, in the sense whoever is controlling the drugs, whoever
yes.
is controlling child trafficking, human
Mm,
trafficking, in
mm,
short. These are the people who are controlling it.
mm.
Whoever is controlling satta based, satta
Yes,
कहते हैं ना, I think that's the Hindi
we
word.
usually call it the cabal.
Yes, the cabal, or also people who are betting.
Yes.
Because ma'am, you see, it's the same thing
Yes,
now
it is.
happening in
Yes.
algorithms, and
Yeah, yeah.
rank yourself,
Mm,
rank your look,
mm,
rank this. It's not a life is not a report card. You
mm,
see, what used to happen in school?
mm,
Okay, we used to give exams. Someone studied. Someone was teacher's favorite.
mm,
Someone had access to question paper. They made it this that simple. What we
mm,
thought maybe it ended at school,
mm,
but the way these algorithms are designed,
mm,
so they are designed in a particular fashion. So also, ma'am, when you mention that they look the same, they sound the same, it's because the software only provides those options. You get it? So of course, they are using very high level softwares which have very very high level
So can you tell
features in
me
it.
now? See, you're talking in a language that's very, very high for me. Okay.
Technical, yeah.
Now, see, let's just take an example. We won't take the name of any actress. Okay. Let's just take a person. Okay, Anita. Now,
Yeah.
let's think of her as a young actress who's a nepo kid. Okay, who's come into this thing, and does the same things. Now, can you explain what happens to her, and then we can, see.
Ma'am, let's say Anita is going to one of these so-called parties. Okay, so she notices, so some all the people she notices who are bigger than her or who are smaller than her or who are more famous than her. Then she will start noticing, okay, maybe her looks is like this. Maybe she is looking a little bit taller, fairer. Her the lips is this. Oh, she has
Comparison.
this.
Uh,
Yeah, so she'll start noticing that.
uh,
Then the people who are so-called managers or whatever, and they know what she wants,
mm,
and they know how to motivate them actually,
mm,
so they will do it self-willingly,
mm,
so it's all mind control and mind tricking at the
mm,
best.
mm.
So they will show her, देखो उसने ऐसा किया, उसने nose job किया,
So
उसने
they will
ये
say,
किया.
when you say this, they, who are they?
They are managers. They're appointed managers. They're appointed by Kawal only because, and they're
So it could
highly
be PR
psychological.
managers, it could be any managers.
It could be friends. It could be anyone. Look at
Ah,
what happened with SSR, right?
mm,
Friends, lovers, anyone
mm,
and everyone,
mm, mm,
right?
mm,
So they are given like a certain task. It comes like a task. Hey, could
mm,
you do this for me? Let's see if you can do it. I'll
mm,
make this problem of yours go away.
mm.
Because all of us somewhere
Insecure.
are somehow stuck. We need to get out. Maybe it's
Mm,
this, maybe it's that. It's because uh, even in real life, when we are stuck in some problem, no one comes to help you.
mm, mm.
You are there on your own and you have to figure it out on your own. And a lot of people want the easy way out and they want to get paid for it. As simple as that. Who doesn't want to live a opulent life and everything, and they get it. That's why they are having flats and this and that, even though the films are not doing well. They get access to these people. They'll throw money. They will, like, there is a
And so
scene, this
what
tamasha.
do the all get out of it?
Ma'am, maybe at that moment, they will get gifts. They're small, na? So, unka kya hai? So, ma'am, these are playing multi-million games.
Mm,
For them, 1,000, 10,000 lakhs is like nothing for them.
mm, mm.
Nothing, right? It's and they are, ma'am. There is a term called as dangling the carrot.
Yeah.
You see, so somewhere in front
Mm,
of it, do this, go ahead, date him, they do that, do this. She will go and do it because, I mean, anyone, because what other option do you have,
mm.
right? Probably for
So,
nepo kids, they're still.
don't they realize that there is a line that they should draw? For example, what is immoral and what is immoral?
Ma'am, that is what even I think, but it's addiction, right? इसके पास है, उसके पास है. After some time, what happens is that there's something called as game theory, ma'am. It applies in business and applies in real life, and I see this is what they're doing. They pit each other against each other.
Mm,
अरे उसका लास्ट मूवी देखा, उसको
mm,
गुच्ची का डील मिल गया, उसको इसका
mm,
ये मिल गया,
mm,
उसको लॉन्जीन्स का मिल गया,
mm,
उसको नाइकी का मिल गया.
mm.
They also want that
Okay.
eventually.
Okay. Mm,
Because they want to be there and it's like a social status currency, because everyone is talking, अरे बेटा ये नहीं हुआ, वो नहीं हुआ, constantly, even if in their own conscious they
So
know
it is, in
कि
other words, what you're talking about is that basic greed, for money, for
basic
good
greed.
life. Yes, for what you don't have.
For what you don't have, and they constantly make it seem like you have to compete. And अरे now, otherwise what they do is, the second way they do it is, अरे कर दे, तुम्हारे फैमिली को फेवर हुआ था, जब तुम्हारा ये हुआ था तो इन्होंने हेल्प किया था, आज उनको
Yeah.
जरूरत है
Mm,
तो तुम कर दो. ऐसा.
mm. That's
इफ
it.
नॉट ऐसा देन वैसा, तो हो ही
Mm,
जाता है
mm,
सब.
mm.
Emotional fools. Now we are all emotional, all
Yeah,
of us, even me.
exactly, exactly.
So even though I'm an expert, ma'am, like I told you, I'm
Mm.
also like, yeah,
Learning.
I cannot escape it. Yeah.
Mm,
So
mm,
all of us. Yeah.
mm.
Yeah.
So, in fact, if you're looking at the West, the US government, the Vatican City, NATO, the UN, Hollywood, and global media outlets are just some of the prominent groups who have been infiltrated or even initially established by the Illuminati. Now, see, it came out as a huge, not as a surprise. We all know what's happening. But when the Jodo Yatra came, and when one of Soros's men was accompanying Rahul Gandhi on the walk, that's when we realized that how close it has, sort of entered into our own system. Because see, what when you're talking about Bharat Jodo Yatra, it's actually Bharat Todo Yatra.
It is. भारत तो जुड़ा
And
ही हुआ
mm,
है ना?
and Rahul Gandhi never expected Soros to expose it. So that has been a very, very big downfall for him. See, when you talk like this, Shreyasta, see, it reminds me of, I think I'm sure you would have heard of it earlier also. A young woman had come anonymously on our channel, and she had spoken about the dating app.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So that itself is an example of how they control you, isn't it?
Horrible, ma'am. Like, even like my parents ask me, why don't you like go find someone, this, that, and like initially in my life,
Mm,
I used to be like, you have no idea who
mm,
the person is. They can be a
mm,
serial killer.
mm,
Ma'am, these things are controlled by really very sick minded people.
mm,
They are at a clinical level, ma'am,
mm,
you know. So, and online, there is literally no radar, no
mm,
one controlling them. And if I'm talking about, let's just say Harvey Weinstein and
mm,
Epstein and all that,
mm.
they have dedicated islands to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
They're coming out after so many years, that
Mm,
also with so much protection,
mm,
legal, this, that, then so much psychological counseling, maybe a decade of someone's life. Even if we take the example of this lady
mm.
who was there in that Mahesh Bhatt camp, Madhu
Praveer
something.
Babi? Praveer Babi?
No, ma'am,
Oh,
recent lady who was in US and she had come back. She was also Miss Universe or something. Apki Kashish or some songs she was doing. Bengali actress only.
Sushmita?
Not
Sushmita
Sushmita.
said? No. Earlier, you mean?
Ma'am, with she was there with early movies. We used to come with Imran Hashmi, Sonu Sood, and uh, very beautiful actress, ma'am.
Not Bipasha
Uh,
Basu.
no.
Oh.
Ma'am, she came out. She fought against Nana Patkar also.
Ah, yes. I remember. Yeah, yeah. The Me Too
Uh,
lady.
Me
Yeah,
Too lady, correct. I'm
yeah,
so sorry, I'm not getting her name.
yeah. Right. I think one
Yeah,
of our people, Tanushri. Yes, Tanushri
Tanushri,
Datta.
correct. Sorry,
Yeah, all of
Tanushri
them are
Datta. I remember
reminding
the
us.
last name Datta, but
Yeah,
I don't know her.
yeah,
Yes, Tanushri Datta. So
yeah.
she also, ma'am, exposed. She
Mm,
had to go to the US, had to
mm,
take spiritual learning and
mm,
come out of it. And luckily, her family supported her, and she was very well educated, very brilliant. Bengali people are very educated,
mm.
brilliant, strong ladies. Thank God she came out of it. And look at her, she took a stand. She didn't flip like Kangna. You see, that is called taking a stand. Yes, yes, net. So
A
yes,
small glitch.
right
Yeah,
now, yeah,
yeah.
net. So you're right. If actually right now there are a lot of rules with Amazon algorithm. In fact, the patent was also out on active listening and everything. So people like me, we have actually campaigned, ma'am. We had campaigned against Google and AI. I actually refused a job. Yeah, I will tell you my job offer story. So, like I said earlier, ma'am, I want to get into analytics, big data, and all that. But they're like, no, we have mapped your profile. You are suitable for software. 3 years after me, I'm giving exams, this, that, and then there came a point I said, no, I just want to do analytics for the rest of my life. You cannot decide what I'm going to do, right? Because they say, oh, we see you here. And then when I speak to the people who are interviewing me, ma'am, these are the technologies we don't even know existing. Like, I've never heard of them.
Mm,
And when I ask how it is working, what it is doing,
mm,
they stop talking
mm.
because they just want me to be a follower. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is your task, you do it. I said, I want to know the impact,
Mm,
right? So
mm,
when I'm asking impact, I'm not supposed to ask. Of course, I'm supposed to ask. It's my right to know what the hell am I creating,
mm,
where the hell is this algorithm going. So these are the things you might think
So, in
that
fact, when you
yeah,
speak like this, Shreyasta, I read a post from a Google ex-Google employee who said that he left Google because of his what he felt is he felt scared that he was betraying the people of the world. Because they were, they are sort of monitoring everything that the world is doing, and they're trying to gear them towards a certain goal, and that he could not do it because his conscience was not permitting him to do that. So this is only one person from Google who has admitted this, you see.
and
And now
ma'am,
you're
he's
telling
under
us
the
this.
wraps.
Yeah.
Ma'am, a
And
lot
also,
of
friends,
people.
if you
Yeah,
listen, if you keep your, your TV mode on, in within a short time, you will know, they will know your shopping, what you like to shop, what you like to drink, what are your sport, gymming activities. So they will immediately on Facebook and all that, they will tell you what all you should do, what all you should buy or drink.
correct, correct. This is called some supervised or unsupervised reinforcement learning. It's
Yes,
called
yes,
reinforcement learning.
yes.
And it's the example is like you feed a chicken or you feed your pet animal a certain nugget. You go here, then nugget, 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 nugget. It's the same thing done to train animals, ma'am. So they train. We are literally their experiment. We
Yes.
are in a
Guinea
social
pigs.
experiment without us knowing. Even
Yeah.
if you right now, if you're using old phones or anything, and you just say some old song or you start singing, in a couple of minutes or over a period of time, those songs will be recommended to you, and you would say, "Hey, I was just having a conversation." Literally, it's that pervasive. So even if we are fighting for privacy and this and that, and even ma'am, Google has fired a lot of their ethical Google scholars. They were fired 2 to 3 years ago. So it makes no sense to be in such high positions and then you're fired, especially when you're a different national, then your visa is affected, and you are really maybe you can survive 5 to 6 months or a year, but after that, nothing. You come on a certain radar, and then you have to be very. You cannot speak anymore.
Yeah.
Your freedom of speech is at jeopardy.
Yeah.
And in India, there are no such laws. At least in the US, people can fight for it, and
So
they're
here,
winning it also.
yeah.
Yeah.
So here, I would like to just make a small comment.
Mhm.
See, the very fact that, see, when I decided to come back to India is because I wanted freedom. Because in many other countries, you see, as you say, you're monitored. Everything about you. I mean, just your finger is enough for you to
Fingerprint.
tell everybody what you're doing. And it's not the fact that, see, you are a truthful human being, you're a model human being, but still, you want your freedom.
Yeah.
And it's only in India that it happens. Now, I want to put in another point here, Shreyasa, that is, see, our Sanatana Dharma teaches us that, see, you as yourself are very important because God lies within you. Now, you don't need to go to temples or to pilgrimages or anywhere, because if you meditate, you can find God within yourself. Now, that is a very, very, a big, important thing for in our religion. Now, a lot of our gurus, who teach us this method of meditation and trying to find ourselves and find our, come to self realization, they have become the enemies of the cabal or the Illuminati, because see, the more they teach it, the people become more independent thinking, they become free thinkers, they cannot be controlled. Okay, so systematically in India, our gurus have been attacked and jailed, and this, the only thing that they can find is sexual offense. Okay, even
Yes.
if the victim, there's no victim, or if the victim says, I've not been seduced or raped or anything, still the gurus will be put in jail or thrown out of the country. Now, see, do you also think that, see, our gurus are the biggest threat for the Illuminati?
Yes, yes, ma'am. They are the biggest threat because they are taking us towards, they are still preaching Sanatana Dharma. As long as Sanatana Dharma is there, it is a threat because they want all of us to be controlled. They want all of us to be their mice in a
Puppets.
rat or in that hamster wheel,
Yes,
and
yes.
they don't want us to be independent. And it's the same discussion I have with a lot of people because I'm in Europe, so a lot of people have already realized that and fighting against it and creating decentralized systems, as we call it in the technical terms. And so it is happening. There is a movement against this as well. And people are, because ma'am, everyone, every soul can be self actualized, right? And we have been taught to be independent, to respect mother earth, and to, to find sustainable and good solutions. But that is completely against whatever industry they are in. Even in the cosmetics, ma'am, they are doing hell lot of chemical experiments. Food, they are doing experiments. Everything will stop. So these are all multi-billion dollar businesses. So mainly their pocket size is decreasing if
Grow.
we are becoming independent.
Yes,
And
and that is
so
why the
that is
biggest
why they are
impacts on
attacking
people
our
like
temples, our
Ramdev Baba,
gurus. Hmm.
who
And
has some
ma'am, there's,
multinational.
yeah, and ma'am, I just want to mention this Midjourney tool or all these AI generated deep fakes and all. Man, they can create the fake content. You see, now they have so much power. And the ma'am, the thing is, nobody, who is the owner of this? They're just putting it out. My question to everyone is, we can use Chat GPT, we can use this, that, blah, blah. Who is controlling? Who is the
Mm,
source at
mm,
the end of the day? Why don't they come out?
mm, mm,
Why is it so dangerous? Why
mm,
is it so open looped? Oh, it is
mm,
free. Oh, it is this. And if we want to make a case against them, who should we report to, right? If it is affecting your and my day-to-day life, because they have information on everything. They know
mm,
how much I'm earning, where I was, when, everything without my permission, without your permission, who I'm no, no, you're supposed to interact with them on. It's like some agony aunt,
mm.
or some, like, some person you don't
So
need
yeah, see,
in your life.
interesting that you brought that up. For example, you have this, this website. I forget the name that keeps coming up, like where the most weird questions are asked. You know, like Google and other, thing where they tell
Where
you
we
that.
can, yeah.
Yeah, like they'll tell you like just give me a second. They'll tell you like what you should do in relationships. So just give me a second. I'll just get it for you. 1 second. Hold on. And they will tell you, yes, Cora. Okay. So Cora will tell you, what your sexual relationship should be like, how you should behave to your brother-in-law. And these are all weird answers, okay, that they look at. So again, here they are only talking to Hindus, okay, and they're telling Hindus that, see, you can have weird sex, you can have blah 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 blah, through answers, because we don't know whether the answers are genuine or not. It is coming from Tom, Dick, and Harry. Okay, so the more perverted, the more eyeballs they get. So it's not only Quora, it's many that are springing up like this, which are
The
becoming alternatives to your, as you said, agony aunt.
Ma'am, they are, see, ma'am, at the end of the day, in psychological terms, they are nothing but pedophiles, sex addicts, and so, ma'am, they are the kind of people who generally don't have access, who cannot fit in a conversation like this. Never. No genuine or rational or conscious person would ever do that. But, ma'am, they already, in their minds, they don't have this neural pathways. Okay, so if you analyze the brain and you look at some brain scans, they don't have it. And unfortunately, no medicine, or even if they have some brain chip that stupid Elon is saying, it's not going to work. It's never going to work because it's like a manufacturing defect, you see. And these, and what they like is that they like, so these are narcissistic people. तो मैं भी कुएं में कूद गया, मैं तेरे को भी लेके डूबूंगा,
Mm,
यही है.
mm,
If things are good in your life, why are, so there is all of a sudden now a very nowadays, they want to know what's happening in your personal life too much. Quora, YouTube,
yeah,
Facebook, what's on your mind, why will you go to work, what's on your mind, you are going
exactly.
to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So
So
Angad is saying
doesn't pay the
we are pressured to
there are,
create Google
yeah.
accounts to use Gmail. Then from there, so many things like jobs, YouTube accounts, Amazon, Flipkart, bank accounts, etc.
Yes, ma'am, that we are pressurized. We have, if you see, we have no option actually. We
Mm,
really have no option. So uh,
mm,
it's becoming like an optionless world and what to do. And they know Indians are good with tech, this, that. So they
mm,
categorize us in this. Hey, I want to now create something with wood. I want to do something with
uh,
pottery. I want to also make candles. I want to change
uh,
the course of my life. Finish. No,
yeah.
you cannot. You are
See
in a
here,
techie
I
loop,
wanted to
so
ask you
you
something.
need to earn
That's been
this. Yeah.
yeah, that's been troubling me for some time. See, what they have done because see, India invites multinational companies to invest in our country. So some of the problems are created by India itself. So what happens is, see, our small time shops are being closed because of
Yes.
Amazon and all. Now,
Yes.
see, they are through companies like Amazon, giving people very high salaries and very highly stressed out jobs where they're nagged every day, they're tortured, they're bullied, and then what they're doing is they fill your mind with fear, saying that, about 20,000, 50,000 people are going to be sacked by the end of the week. Now, see, they're also telling you, in other words, that you better gear to go into poverty because
Exactly.
because you're not going to get jobs so easily. See, jobs are not easy. If you get a job, it's especially in a populated country like India, it's very difficult. So they're also filling people with this fear psychosis that without a job, you have taken loans from the bank for houses, for cars, for these things, you're going to suffer like hell. So for by hook or by crook, you cling on to that Amazon job. You'll do anything. You may even take you'll take all the what you say crap that they give you. So in other words, they come into your country and they treat you like dirt.
Ma'am, this is same East India company, East India philosophy via Google, Amazon. Why are you making Bezos rich? That is my question.
Mm,
Cut him off.
mm,
Why we have our there's a reason the people who used to work in Amazon came back and made Flipkart, or they're making the competing, because the
yeah.
competing technologies need to be there. You have to understand game theory, ma'am.
Mm,
Why do like, let's say Pizza Hut and um, Domino's, why are they next to each other?
mm,
Right? Why are they not far, far away? They are next to each
mm,
other because both of them will compete for the
mm,
customers at the same point. That place will become very popular. Then
mm,
they will, so because they're competing, people will say, "Arey, I'll go to Pizza Hut because pizza quality is good. This is good. That is
mm,
good." So they'll automatically have the best resources to
mm,
capture the customers' attention. This, that, whatever. That's why you'll say all the companies, whether it's a small shop, even pan wala, whatever, for anything, even for you in your life to thrive, you need competition. Okay, now, not don't be so crazily competitive. 8 to 10 hours, whatever is there, then come back in your personal life, do your other things. But ma'am, they are really destroying us, our economy. And then China has actually been very smart in creating their own economy, though they are autocratic. We are, ma'am, really very very naive as Indians. हमको
see in
उनका छल
Bangalore.
कपट समझ में नहीं आता है. In
Yeah,
short.
in Bangalore, Shreyasta, see, I don't know because South Indian people are more innovative in their thinking,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would say.
yeah.
So many of them have left their IT companies and started cultivating horticulture, everything in a different way, different sort of jobs, which they would have not never thought of when they were studying or doing engineering also.
Correct,
So
correct, correct.
that is a good thing, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am, and I'm lucky to meet such people, because it's from their stories that I had the courage to, I used to wonder, "Arey, quit kyun kiya, ye kyun kiya?" And then they explained me that, like, 10 years, 15 years, and you cannot be in front of the computer, like, then you'll have, like me, big glasses. And ma'am, I stopped using my computer for a long time, and I was doing yoga and everything, and all, I was taking proper plant nutrients and everything. My eye power reduced. Everyone is like, "Oh, laser karna hi padega, ye karna padega." I know, I work with lasers myself. I know the dangers of it also. So I try to be very holistic, even though it is time consuming, and it is a little
Something,
bit more tedious. So I
Shreyasta.
just will say people to go towards a holistic life. Yes, we cannot ignore tech. We need it, but
What are the
whatever we
dangers of
need,
laser?
yeah, we shouldn't be an addict to it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the dangers of laser?
Ma'am, laser, if done properly, like, it really needs very precise hands and this and that, like laser eye surgery and all. Nowadays, it's very very safe technology. I'm just talking when, so ma'am, any new technology when it is introduced to public, eyes, these days cutting, wetting, jaw cutting, precision, blah, blah, blah. A hell lot of things have come in laser. Laser
Teeth.
hair cutting, this everything is there. You can
Yeah,
imagine
root
it's there.
canal.
Skin lightening,
Mm,
whatnot, anything and teeth, hands, everywhere. But it's your body, so it's again like, what is happening to the nepo kids. You need to look like
mm,
this. You need. So they're even
mm,
saying to the consumer, okay, if it is my choice, I want a certain way to look. My own free will to look a
mm,
certain way, then it's fine, because many people come and also say we feel validated by looking like this, so it's fine. So they're self-willing and coming and doing it, but what happens is in the general psyche, okay, what happens is girl needs to look like this, boys need to look like that, especially our society or the Korean society or South
mm.
Korean. They'll go for a lot of surgeries, a lot of makeup,
Yeah,
lot of whole industry is thriving on it. They all look the same. I cannot distinguish.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
and we as individuals are what Sanatan Dharma is saying, we're unique, we are beautiful in our own way, we are
Mm,
who we
mm,
are, right?
mm,
So, yeah, that is what it is.
mm. So here, uh, you know, a lot of the just going back to the Bollywood thing is that see these superstars are the ones who are controlling the scene. So we
Yes.
know the people who are doing it, and uh, and these people, the women and men under them, behave like sheep
Yes.
because see they know that these superstars are very dangerous and they have resorted to many things, as we've seen in the Sushant Singh Rajput case. They've gone to extremes, and still they're not scared of them, and they, align with them and do what they say and praise them as if they are the gods themselves.
Yes, ma'am, but we can see that, right? We can see how Soros' behavior at the end of the day over a period of time. How so, ma'am? We don't know what is happening behind the algorithm. We just
Mm,
know the metrics, and
mm,
we need to be smart enough to observe and listen to you. Also, the right channel should come to our feed, also, right?
mm,
So yeah, ma'am, this is there. It's also like a discovery journey,
mm.
and I just want to say
Let
that
me just tell
yes.
you something. Yeah, let me just tell you something very interesting. See, uh, ever since we started our channel, there are a lot of things that we say, we convey about, the injustice and what's happening, as what you mentioned. Now, a lot of these things are being taken by the cabal, and these are coming in the Bollywood PR news. Okay.
Yes.
Uh-huh. And they are saying that, see, so when I'm saying something, they're already interpreting it and going to another step. And I found that very, very weird because
Ma'am,
they've
yeah,
already,
yeah. Ma'am, I'll
yeah,
tell you why. Because,
mm,
ma'am, you are the creator. Let's say you are a
mm,
creator of this movement, and they
mm,
know that this movement has still not died. So they
mm,
identify who are the leaders, and you are
mm,
definitely coming there. And then
mm,
they are probably listening on it, and they
mm,
get to know the keywords and hash words. Then
mm,
they must have a person who is listening to us, and so for them it's like outreach. They create
mm,
a channel to their bosses. They need to show हमने इतना सारा likes reach कर दिया, ये हुआ वो हुआ, how the cabal PR is working. So they do that, and then they feed on our emotions. They feed on the reels. Now reels are going to be monetized. The new
mm,
CEO has found 5 more ways to monetize YouTube. So if you have, so that's how, I mean, it helps you as well and the other creators as well. You can
mm,
also monetize your clips in the
mm,
future and whatever hashtags or whatever things
mm,
that matter to us, like all the celebrities that have gone away in the past.
mm,
So we really care about them. They were genuine people,
mm,
they were genuine people and they knew all this. They wanted to. Ma'am, like Divya Bharti, too young to go away, right? So
mm,
courageous, very
mm,
talented girl. Or others who came after her, and it's very sad. And there has to be, we of course say yes, divine justice, but ma'am, there has to be justice on paper and on
mm,
this, on India, and because we
mm,
stand for it. We say Satyameva Jayate, so we better live by it. So that's where I come in, and people like me come in. We have the solutions,
mm,
but our judiciary still wants to sleepwalk. So we
mm,
cannot do anything. And then when the
mm,
young people, the young in my house also, or in my surrounding also, who are just as driven, who want to bring change in the society and
change.
this and that, I sometimes feel, what advice will I give you all? Because the money stream is the same, whether it is NGO, this, that. I can only tell them that be very clever, be
Mm,
very very clever, be
mm,
very vigilant of whatever you are
mm,
doing, because even if you
mm,
want to bring positive changes in the society,
mm,
it is
mm,
harming someone's negative dirty business, and they will do
mm,
whatever is there in their power to stop you. So you better
mm,
be very careful, and
mm,
even though your intentions are pure, it's very imperative in our society to keep yourself safe. So
mm. So
like
another
who
example I wanted to, yeah,
Yes.
tell you is that, see, sometimes I just put my name as the search, and on Google, and try to find out news about me. Okay. Now, I found a very strange article. See, as a journalist, you have to have some purpose when you write an article. But I found a very strange article where, they're talking about a conversation on Twitter between Shah Rukh Khan and Akshay Kumar. Not Akshay Kumar, Ajay Devgan. Okay. So Ajay Devgan is congratulating Shah Rukh Khan on Pathan, and Pathan is praising him also for certain things. Okay, so now under that I had put the remark, you scratch my back, I scratch your back.
Yes.
Okay, now what they did is they put a picture of that on of the article, you know, and they said that, see, this was a conversation between these people, between these two actors. They didn't mention my name, okay, and beneath that, very cleverly, they put it my tweet also. Okay, and you want to see the and under that they've seen you want to see the responses, so I press the responses, and all those responses, around 20 to whatever number, are abusing me.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so indirectly, without mentioning my name, they are telling all their fans and whoever needs to change because of their boycott Bollywood attitude, to understand that I am this sort of a lady. So this is an article. Can you imagine? It's a journalistic article
Ma'am,
written in
this
one
is
of these.
pure
Yeah,
PR. This is
yeah,
BBC
yeah.
left
Yes,
complete.
exactly. Yeah. And I can ask them, why are
Horrible.
you using my name in it at all?
Yeah.
If you're writing about two actors, talk about them. Why are you putting my tweet and answer in it at all? So which means it is all very, very targeted to hit people who are fighting and who have not, aligned with the system. Now, as you have seen, Shreyasta, as time has passed, many people have been bought, you know, and many of them have already given. In Sushant Singh's case, they have given up.
Even
They
yeah.
would have been either paid or many other reasons that they've been away from the scene. So there are fewer people. So their strength has come back, that they can fight the system and come to an era when people run to theaters and watch their movies. So this is the ambition for them. And uh, I find that, see, they are trying their best. Everything, if the strange thing is that they never give up
They
because they've got
never.
the money power.
They have the money, they have the automation power. Ma'am,
Yeah,
what about those people who are genuinely so good and they're doing theater, or maybe you can see Paresh Rawal or other actresses and other upcoming, comedians, or, other shows, motivation and whatnot. They are also like, they are also there, but they are also creating their, it's taking longer, maybe it's
mm,
taking them a decade to reach
mm,
that potential. But yeah, ma'am, because these people, they actually control and own it. If you
mm,
just type, uh, even if you see on holidays, the other holidays will be highlighted, other holidays will be very nicely
yeah,
highlighted, very very, you know what I
yes,
mean. So
exactly.
I'm just talking in a very yeah, like, secretive way, because they are monitoring us, you, me, everybody, all of us. And we really need to fight back. We really need to come up with proper laws and regulation and legislations against this,
And also, yeah,
because
but one very
it's
important
our
thing,
creativity.
yeah, I
Yeah.
wanted, yeah, but very important thing also, Shreyasta, that I wanted to say is that, see, things are not easy, see,
Okay.
people say you fight on, you continue, you do this, you do that, you know, at the same time, you know, in every way they are curtailing us. Okay. Earlier, I used to get lot of likes, lot of people watching. So many. I used to be shocked, at the number of people. So it has been drastically reduced because somebody is controlling.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and it is not only in YouTube. It is also in Twitter. It is also in Facebook. Wherever, see, now in Twitter they put me as an influencer. Okay, so whenever I post something, even if I post a cartoon, you know, so they say, to monetize, or things like that. So it's deliberately they are trying to control your messages, because they know your messages are very, very
Powerful.
laden with some stuff, so which can change a lot of lives. So it's not only us, of course. See, I'm just talking me, not trying to show off or anything. I'm just saying that, see, many people like us are constantly monitored and pulled back, like a horse is pulled back, but the thing is that they really don't want to let me go either, because they want people like us.
Yeah, they want to see how we can maneuver and how they are maneuvering,
Mm, mm.
because
So it's a game. It's like
it's a
a
game.
simple
It
game.
is a game.
Yeah,
Keep your
yeah.
enemies closer,
So could
right?
you tell us
Keep
about that?
friends close, keep your enemies closer, like that.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
it is that. It is a game. I mean, this is the dark side of social algorithms. It
mm,
is a game, and we have to be very, very. We have to go ahead with our agenda, and we have to be very careful. Like, usually, if you are really worried about if my gadget is listening to me or anything like that, you need not be, because now there are a lot of laws and regulations properly in place, and these algorithms from good companies, even Amazon and all, they have implemented it over a period of time. It has become better, but this
mm,
reinforcement learning, the right technical term, they even want you to, as in, even me as a techie, when I apply for job, oh, do you know this, do you know that, do you know this? I'm like, whatever is on my resume, I know it. You cannot force me to have 10 years of experience in a span of couple of 4 to 5 years. I just give them left and right, and I urge everybody to have that courage to be yourself and stand your ground. They will come down, trust me.
mm,
uh, you just have to be the bigger boss in this, and
yeah.
like this,
And
ma'am, you
also,
continue your mission.
yeah.
Ma'am, I'm telling you, in future I'm creating these systems myself. There will be more independent channels, there will be more OTTs, there will be a facility in future where you will have your own channel, own OTT. And there are even a lot of people awakened in the techie world also, and we are creating the pathways as we are speaking. So ma'am, you have at the end of the day control of your data, and there will be platforms. So continue the fight. If there
Mm,
is a bad war, there is a good war as well that is there
mm,
to give them. And I want you guys to listen and know that yes, there are people, and you just wait and watch, and for more things to come up and everything. Yes, because we are at the end of the day an intellectual think tank, creative people.
yeah,
Such people only have the power to create and innovate. If you come
yeah.
and see outside them, you have lived in so many countries, you know their IQ and EQ level. Nothing. So
That's how I left my job as journalist, working for papers and magazines, because I felt I was giving my knowledge to people who don't even deserve it,
deserve it.
and who were pushing me around, telling me what to do when I didn't believe in it. That's how I became an entrepreneur. You know, and here another, before we end the session, Shreyasa, one thing I wanted to tell friends is that, see, whenever a multinational company or another company kicks you out,
Yeah.
okay, now they will not give you reasons. Hmm? You may have performed very well,
Yeah.
and your graph would be really at its height. They'll keep some mediocre and say that person is going to replace you. Now, if you ask for an explanation, they'll say, because of certain reasons. They don't have even valid reasons to tell you why they kicked
Exactly.
you out. You know,
Yeah.
so please have the confidence that something much better is waiting for you in the corner. You know, rather than taking these shitty, crappy jobs where the bosses themselves don't know where they're going. Okay,
Exactly,
and this
ma'am.
all this messy competition and where you work like little cockroaches, it's not for you. There's something much bigger for you.
True, ma'am. Very true, ma'am. And actually, it takes courage to be an entrepreneur. It's not easy. I'm going the same way. I've also faced the same techie problems. And when I was laid off, it was literally the same. They don't have reason. They're just like, we don't have customers, we don't have profit coming in, blah blah blah, and we are shutting data and analytics and AI and this and that. But this is what is controlling the algorithms. This is what it is. So then they
When
come
I
back
was
and
working,
yeah,
yeah,
they
this
return and
question when
circle
he's
back to you. Yes, ma'am. Sorry,
yeah.
I couldn't hear you.
Yeah. When he was asking, ma'am, were you working for Kalish Times? During, yes, I was working. In fact, I'll just tell you one incident because Shreyasta has been pointing to that as well. So there was a question when I, having come from India, when I went to Kalish Times, I asked the editor, I was working as the assistant as editor. So I asked him, why aren't we getting original stories? Why can't we run around town and get our own stories? And we were just clipping and paste from Daily Mail and Sun and all that. So he said, you know, when you become the editor, you do that. Okay. As long as I'm the editor, you listen to me.
Oh
you
my
know
God.
so that's how it passed my progress into becoming an entrepreneur and an editor in my own right. So what I'm saying is, do not be bullied into things that you don't want to do. And Shreyasta is very clearly saying that, see, if you have the ability and the creative skills, plan something that suits you, something that you enjoy. Don't be under the pressure of people who have only the quarter of the knowledge that you have.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for everybody, and I love the comments, everyone.
Yeah.
Divided States of America. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. And yeah, it's very important to fight. I'm also coming up with my own startup or things like that. Thank God that is going in the right direction, because you do find like-minded people eventually regroup and do their own thing.
Absolutely.
And I'm just very excited myself also, like the freedom that we have in India, no money can buy it. The comfort, the freedom. We are, of course, we are working on. It's a great
Shreyasta,
experience. Yeah.
what is the quality of freedom? You know, the quality of freedom is when you look. Can you look at when you look at the most powerful person in the world, you can look
Hmm.
him in the eye, and tell him, what you think. You know, you're not scared of anybody.
Not
You're
scared
not
of.
scared you're going to lose your job. Okay, you will go
Exactly.
back to what you are. See, that is freedom. you know I've tasted it so many times. I've said exactly what I want and got out of situations where I didn't want to be a part of. And
Exactly.
where this what you call this bootlicking culture, where you
It's
keep
not for
on
us.
licking the boss and his wife and everybody, going for their parties, socializing, all these things.
Ma'am, Indians
you
do it
know
more. Ma'am,
yes.
unfortunately, we Indians do it more. I'm coming outside and seeing it. Of course, people do it, but they are
Mm,
not like, so they do it little bit and they leave it. But in India,
mm,
it's like expected. Me parties mein aao, continuously aate
mm,
raho. It's like you are a slave for the rest of your life, which is I don't find. I don't understand it, and I'm not going to give into it. Secondly, it's people giving away their own power.
mm,
And also, one thing I just want to say, that no matter what algorithms are out there, don't fall for it, or don't fall for the crazy advertising of people. They just want to make you mentally sick.
mm,
Because
mm.
when we are mentally discouraged and down, it's easy for us to become slaves. It's
Yeah.
easy for us to become
See,
discouraged,
very
and when
well, very well said. Because here, let me to give you an example. See, somebody pointed out, because see, I get a lot of emails. Somebody pointed out that Dharma channel, which is our Gejo's establishment.
yes,
He has put a video where he's going to work with the Southern Stars and with Ritik Roshan to bring Lord Shiva's story. Okay, and Parvati is none other than Deepika Padukone. So this is nothing. See, this is just like I make a sketch on my in my book, and say that
yes,
I am going to produce this. So it's a figment of this foolish man's
And why
imagination.
is he all
And
of a sudden coming? His name is Dharma Production from many years.
ah,
What he is doing,
yes,
family used to bring, right? Joint family
yes,
culture,
mm,
these that.
mm,
Why is he suddenly coming to Lord Shiva and all this? You are
yes,
making Khilji and all that
yeah,
stuff, na?
yeah. Here
Now that
also, let me
boycott
tell you. No,
Bollywood.
here also, let me tell you one thing, Shreyasta, is
Mm.
that, see, Lord Shiva is the most powerful god in the universe, and
Yes,
he is the
ma'am.
universe himself. Because if you
Yes.
look, dig up anywhere in the world, you'll find a
Mm.
linga. Okay, now they are scared of that link with the Sanatanis, you know, and it is that link that they want to break. Okay,
Yeah.
now if I give Lord Shiva a character of someone like a drug addict, you know, and give
Yeah.
Parvati the image of a prostitute, you know, and say that these are the couple that you are worshipping. Can you imagine? I mean, every day people are going to heaven and coming back through meditation, because of the kind of religion we have, and they want to catch that and tell you, see, these are your idols, and these are your ideals. So they are going to represent your gods. So look at the way, as you said, they are trying to penetrate into your system and make you depressed, make you upset. So here also a very important advice to our viewers is that don't get depressed that SSR case is not solved. Okay,
It will
we are
be
all
so.
still on it, and politicians use it as a political card. So it will come out. Only thing is, it's being delayed. So please do not allow these, dirty people, to play with your mind, as Shreyas has said. There is a lot of hope because there are a lot of good people working. For example, Samir Wankade, who was thrown into the dust by this Kababe Nawab Malik, this guy. Today, Samir Wankade is in the forefront everywhere, whether it's
Yeah.
a marathon or he's the one who's being applauded, and you will see with a vengeance. He
He'll
will
come.
become one of the most important people that you can't ignore. This is
Exactly.
our religion.
This is our
You see.
religion. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
you cannot, because all of these people, especially the one who wore a plastic, 4-pack in a movie recently, you know, did thought he did to Samir Wankade, will face the consequences very soon. You know. So thank you, and also, friends, let me tell you, Shreyasa, this is not one of the only chat we're going to have with you. We would like to have you, whenever you're free, to join us and educate us in this area, because many of us do not know what's happening, and you
Ma'am,
see
I'll
that you
show
are
you via
also
my,
bringing solutions.
yeah, ma'am, I'll show what my results are and I will make
Yes,
it public.
yes,
Because there was a strong push against what I was publishing. I was not allowed to publish this. I was very, ma'am, just naive, just a student and did not have any experience. But now I totally get it from the architectural level, and after listening to you and many, because this exactly what I used to feel and I had no one to share it with, to be honest. And once I was joined with you and everyone here, actually I felt like a family here. So that gave me a lot of courage and I did a lot of self introspection after it. And I'm very happy, ma'am. I will definitely show how algorithms work in the background, what has been done, how different countries are using it against their own people. But our culture is still so good that we still have the freedom of the true sense. So I will be more than happy
So
to
here,
share
what
it.
you said is, yeah. The more you
Yeah.
talk, I mean, I'm just, inspired to remember certain things. One of our viewers, Maya Jagannathan, very intelligent
Okay.
lady. She said that she sent me a mail saying that, see, do you know this case? You know what's happened in Norway, and about this lady and her children being separated. So I said, Maya, that is a story that's quite old. Okay, so
11,
she
12
was
years.
shocked. And then she said, oh, it's because that Kajal's movie has come that they have brought the whole picture back into our focus. See how they're doing it. Now, what do you call Rani Mukherjee, with her figure, and her looks. Now, she can't go into the role of Katrina Kaif. Nor can she take off her clothes like Rashmika. Now, she has to act like a mother. So now they would have, used all the scripts in town to find out which role will suit her. So she picked up this old incident, and she became the Bengali mother of the children, which is now released, and she's speaking about it. And whenever she's on stage, she starts crying because she's so emotional about what the real mother underwent. See, you look at the way, and then Karan Johar hugs her, as though he is more emotional. His own children are surrogate children. He has no connect with them. So how Bollywood is trying to control your emotions by saying that, see, oh, this happened, recently. And then when you look at it, the case was so
So
old.
11 years old. Yeah.
Okay, why don't you do an Aftab case?
Yes, yes,
Isn't
you're
it?
100% right, ma'am.
Where a Hindu girl is chopped into so many bits and thrown all
No
over
one
town.
is doing that. Why is
Yeah,
Karan not doing
yeah.
it? Please,
And
Karan, do it.
she met him through a dating app,
App, dating app,
which
ma'am.
is also
Dating.
your creation. You know, so all these things.
Ma'am, this is all
So
profiling. We'll do it in the next session. I'll speak a little
yes,
bit more.
absolutely.
And
Yeah,
thank you,
let's
Ned,
work it
sir,
out,
also,
and
and
then we will.
everyone. Yeah, I'm so
Yeah,
happy that all
everybody
of you
is very
participated.
happy with your session, and
I'm
not only that,
very,
I mean,
yeah.
these are things that many of us don't know. So
Mm.
you are, educating us also in this
Yes,
area.
ma'am.
So thank you so much, Shreyasta, for that,
Yes, ma'am.
and
Thank
we'll
you
meet
for having
again.
me.
Thank you.
Yes. Have
Yes.
a good
Good
evening.
night, and
Everybody have a good
Jai Hind.
evening and yeah, Jai Hind.
Yeah, Jai Hind.
Yeah.